What if I told you that somewhere on this planet there is a tiny island where the richest people in the world hide their money? And not just hide it. They put it behind a legal wall so powerful that no court in America can touch it. Not the FBI, not the IRS, not even a federal judge with a court order. The judge can scream, the government can threaten, but the money just sits there, safe, untouched. And here is the part that will blow your mind. It is 100% legal. The world's 2,755 billionaires control over $15 trillion in wealth. And in 2026, they protect that money using a system so advanced that fewer than 0.1% of American families ever pay the estate tax. That means 99.9% of Americans play by one set of rules, and billionaires play by a completely different set. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how they do it. The trust that lasts forever, the trick that lets them spend billions without paying taxes, and the offshore fortresses that even courts cannot break into. But first, we need to go back over 2,000 years, to ancient Rome. The art of protecting wealth did not start on Wall Street. It started with the Romans. Wealthy Roman families had a big problem. Emperors could take their money whenever they wanted. There was no real protection. So they invented something clever, a legal structure called fideicomissum. Instead of owning your wealth directly, you transferred it into a separate legal structure. You controlled it, but you did not technically own it. So even if someone came after you, they could not touch your money. That simple idea became the foundation of everything billionaires do today. If you own something in your name, you can lose it. If you own it through a structure, you are protected. In the late 1800s, American tycoons like Rockefeller and Carnegie took this ancient trick and made it even more powerful. Trusts, offshore companies, philanthropic foundations, those exact same structures are still being used in 2026, just with more layers and more sophistication. The first line of defense every billionaire builds is called diversification. You and I might spread our money across a few stocks. Billionaires spread their money across entire worlds. Private equity, hedge funds, real estate worth hundreds of millions, fine art by Picasso, gold in Swiss vaults, cryptocurrency in cold wallets. If the stock market crashes, their real estate holds. If real estate falls, their art goes up. If a government freezes accounts, their crypto sits untouched. A billionaire's Picasso is not just a painting. It is a tax-free investment sitting in a Swiss vault, growing in value, invisible to tax authorities. Nothing is accidental. Every asset serves two purposes: enjoyment and protection. But the real fortress is on tiny islands most people have never heard of. Cook Islands, Cayman Islands, Nevis, Dubai, Singapore. These places have laws designed specifically to make money disappear, legally. A billionaire creates an irrevocable offshore trust. They put their money inside. Then they hand control to a trustee who lives on one of these islands. That trustee does not answer to American law. They answer to Cook Islands law. If an American court orders the billionaire to bring the money back, the trustee can legally say no. There are real cases where American judges ordered billionaires to bring their money home. The trustees refused, and there was nothing anyone could do. The cost to set up one of these trusts? Around $3 million. The protection, priceless. Now you might be thinking, okay, the money is protected, but billionaires still need to spend it, right? How do they actually use their wealth without paying massive taxes? And this is where the most elegant trick comes in. When you or I need money, we go to work. We earn income. We pay taxes on that income. Simple. But billionaires do not earn income. At least not in the traditional sense. Their wealth sits in stocks, real estate, and other assets. And as long as they do not sell those assets, they do not pay any taxes on them. But they still need cash to live, to buy houses, to take vacations, to run their lives. So here is what they do. They borrow against their assets. Let me explain. Say a billionaire has $100 billion in Tesla stock. They go to a bank and say, I want to borrow $5 billion. Use my stock as collateral. The bank says yes, because the stock is worth way more than the loan. Now the billionaire has $5 billion in cash to spend. But here is the magic. That loan is not income, so they pay zero income tax on it. The stock keeps growing, so their wealth keeps increasing. The interest rate on the loan is maybe 2 to 4%, lower than inflation. And if they die before paying it back, the estate gets something called a step-up in basis. That means all the capital gains on that stock, all the growth that happened over decades gets erased. The heirs inherit the stock at its current value, and nobody ever pays tax on those gains. The billionaire spent the money, kept the assets, and the tax bill, it vanished. This is how the richest people on earth live like kings while paying almost nothing in taxes. And it is completely legal. But protecting wealth during your lifetime is only half the battle. Billionaires also need to make sure their money survives after they die. Not just for their children, but for their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren, and generations that have not even been born yet. And they do this with something called a dynasty trust. In most states, trusts eventually expire. There are rules about how long they can last. But in places like South Dakota, Nevada, and Delaware, those rules do not exist. You can create a trust that lasts forever. Wealth placed inside can grow across unlimited generations, passing from parents to children to grandchildren to great-grandchildren. And at each transfer, zero estate tax. The Walton family, the people who own Walmart, saved billions using these kinds of trusts. Their wealth did not just survive across generations, it multiplied. Then there is something most people have never even heard of: private placement life insurance. It sounds boring, but it might be the most powerful tax-free vault in existence. Here is how it works. A billionaire takes their hedge fund investments, their private equity stakes, their most valuable assets, and wraps them inside an insurance policy. Everything inside grows tax-free. They can borrow against it tax-free. And when they die, the entire amount passes to their heirs tax-free. The catch: the minimum premium is $1 to $5 million per year. The door to this vault does not just require a key, it requires a fortune. By 2026, cryptocurrency added a whole new dimension. Billionaires store their crypto in cold wallets disconnected from the internet. They use multi-signature systems requiring multiple people to approve any transaction. They put their crypto inside LLCs, then transfer those LLCs into offshore trusts. The money exists on a blockchain. The protection exists on 3 continents. And here is the final piece. In 2026, a law called the One Big Beautiful Bill locked in the estate tax exemption at $15 million per person, $30 million for married couples. Every billionaire estate planner in America went into overdrive, transferring assets at record speed. And the result? 0.1% of American estates pay the estate tax. The system was not broken. It was built this way. Now I want to hear from you. Which strategy shocked you the most? The borrowing trick, the offshore trusts, or the fact that only 0.1% of estates ever pay the estate tax? Drop your answer in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started.